Today we're going to be using some things that we learned a while back and some things that we learned more recently and putting them together to do something new. Today we're going to talk about estimating numbers, estimating sums. So when we estimate, it's kind of like a good guess. If we estimate, it's taking a good guess. So what we do when we estimate a sum, remember a sum is when we put two add-ins together, it's the answer. The sum is the answer of an addition problem. So we're going to be estimating a sum. So here's how we do that. If I have 37 plus 24, now we could just add that and get an exact answer, or we could estimate. Estimating is a good idea. It's a good thing to use if you're like in a hurry. So for example, if I went shopping and I saw that something cost $37 and something cost $24, I might not have the time right there to figure out exactly what that number is, but I can kind of guess. So here's what we do. We round. We learned about rounding about a month ago. So we're gonna use that skill again in estimating. So I'm going to think, well, 37 rounded to the nearest 10 is 40. So I know 37 is about 40. And 24 rounded to the nearest 10 is 20. So if I estimate, well, it's a lot easier to add 40 plus 20 than it is to add 37 plus 24, right? So it's a lot easier to do it that way. So I know 40 plus 20 is 60. So my answer is about 60. It's an estimated answer. It's a good guess. Now let's go over here and figure out our real answer, see if we're close. 7 plus 4 is 11, which is 1 10 and 1 1. So we leave our 1s with our 1s, move our 10s with our 10s. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 3 is 6. Look at that. Hey, we're so close. 61 and 60. They're almost exactly the same numbers, just one number different. So estimating is when we take a good guess, and we do that by rounding. So let's do another example. Let's say I go apple picking, and I go apple picking with Miss Benura, let's say, and I pick, well, I was picking a lot of apples, and I picked 216 apples. But Miss Benura, she's even a better apple picker than me, and she picked 376 apples. Now we're trying to figure out how many apples we're gonna have all together, but it would take a long time to count all of those apples all together. So we're just gonna estimate. Estimate, which means we round. And here we have numbers in the hundreds, so we're gonna round to the nearest 100, all right? So 216, remember, rounding to the nearest 100, so I'm gonna look back here at my tens place. Well, I know it's between 200 and 300, and there's a 1 in my tens place, so I know a 1 is gonna round down to 200. Now, 376 is in between 300 and 400. We're going to look in the tens place. There's a 7. So I know 7 is going to round up to 400. And 400 plus 200 is a lot easier to round, a lot easier to add up than 376 plus 216. So then I can even add this in my head. I just know it's 600, just like that. So our estimated answer is 600. So let's see exactly how many apples we had. So I have 6 plus 6 is 12. Raise my arrow here. That's 110 and 2 1s. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. 592 and 600. Those are pretty close. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close. I want you to try this one for me now. That's a good problem. Let's see. We had a lot of questions to answer in math. So let's say on one side of the page, we had 17 questions, and on the other side of the page, on the back, it's a little bit longer, there are 32 questions. Now, that we could add it up, but we're gonna estimate just to figure out. So I want you to round the numbers, add your rounding, and then add your actual problem to figure out the actual answer to see how many questions we have on our math page. This isn't the actual number we have on our math page. I just made it up. So go ahead and pause the video and solve that problem. and click play again when you're ready to see the answer. So we're going to round first. 17, I know is between 10 and 20. And 7, that's going to round up to 20. 32, I know it's in between 30 and 40. And the 2 is going to round down to 30. So 30 plus 20 is a lot easier to add than 17 plus 32. So I can look at that and know 3 plus 2 is 5. So my answer is 50. Now let's add our numbers, see how many there actually are. 7 plus 2 is 9. 3 plus 1 is 4. 49. That's really close to 50. That's very, very close. So that's what we're going to be doing on our paper today. You're going to be rounding the numbers to find an estimated sum. It's just a good guess. We round the numbers to make it a little bit easier to add so that we can do it in our head. And that's going to be close to the answer, the real answer when we add it up. So on your page, make sure you write the rounded numbers and your estimated sum and actually figure out the actual sum. Make sure you do both of those, all right? You're going to do all of the problems on this page. Make sure you do all of the problems on this page. We're not skipping every other one today. Do all of the problems on this page. When you're done, you can bring it to me. You can play Splash Math, Freckle, or you can play Math War with a partner. But make sure you're using whisper voices if you're playing Math War. All right, see you tomorrow.